Hey everyone, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here on the regular. Hit that like and subscribe to get your energy all up in these spirit messages to help your journey, okay? Hit the bell if you're missing out on lives or shorts or anything like that. I know with the new YouTube platform change, it's been a little funky. Comment down below if anything resonates or you wish to share or you want to practice some gratitude, okay? Remember to intuitively listen for that training and take what resonates, leave the rest, okay? We read energy, not ego over here, unless spirit has it come up for healing. So today I'm going to do a general Aries to Pisces using the Herbal Tarot deck and the book Spirit of Herbs, a guide to the Herbal Tarot. It's more in depth. This will be for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus. We'll go Aries to Pisces. I'll timestamp in the description box for you, okay? And I'll just cover whatever it covers whenever you see this, okay? Follow your placements as, that feels right for you at this time. And we're just going to focus on what needs joyful co-creation at the moment with the universe, okay, or within self, all right? Which essentially is the same, okay? So your higher self is going to come forward and let you know what you need right now, okay, at the moment that you see this. So let's get into it. I'll go ahead and start timestamps then. All right, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. What needs joyful co-creation for our Aries is there? Please and thank you. One card. All right. Intellect is going to be at your focus with the King of Swords here. Could very well be about a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or one of your placements and such, okay? Taking charge of what you know, taking charge of your intellect, all right? I'm going to go ahead and read the whole thing. We're also going to learn a little bit about the herb on the card here with St. John's wort. There may be some anxiety. Typically, that's what St. John's wort is best for. So you may need to co-create some calm mentally for yourself. All right. The King of Swords sits on a rock representing his capacity to be grounded and established in his thoughts. The sword in his left hand and his blue garment denote his innate ability to be clear in his thinking and open to innovative thoughts. Blue also is the color of your throat chakra, so maybe something that's needing to be thought through carefully before spoken, okay? The yellow garment shows his willingness to be creative and expressive with his words, whether they be written or spoken, okay? Yellow is also the color of your solar plexus, so a sense of needing to have your inner power and strength is important at this time. He is a natural diplomat and philosopher who can use his communication talents in ways that can be truly inspiring to others. So perhaps that's the joyful co-creation going on, is to inspire others. Through his keen ability to be analytical, he is able to cut away truth from untruth. He must watch, however, that his sword is not used to be critical and harsh to himself or to those associated with him. He must be tolerant of other people's ways and not grow impatient with their slower thinking. Arrogance does not become the King of Swords. He must learn to use his clarity of mind to support his creativity and to be supportive to others with whom he is associated. Now about St. John's wort. The spiritual properties, and this may be something you might want to work with in order for this joyful co-creation to come forward, all right? This herb can impart the capacity to calm the emotions of fear, depression, and frustration in order to allow our ability for free visionary thoughts to come through. It will alleviate tension and unrest we may experience when we need to express our ideas and beliefs. For those who are stuck in arrogance about their righteousness, this herb will unstick this energy and allow a better flow to occur. The affirmation on this, actually, I'm going to read you the herbal allies first, okay, in case you can't find St. John's wort. Calamus, jasmine, and oat straw. Now, jasmine does come in a tea, so I would definitely recommend that, considering that it is the sap of jasmine that can be toxic. So if it's not harvested correctly, okay, it may be difficult. It may be an irritant to your skin or your stomach, okay? And it's only because of the sap, not because of the flowers that they usually harvest. The affirmation on this card: I acknowledge my ability to see clearly and to communicate my beliefs and ideas. Okay? So maybe also about kind of cultivating that at this time. All right? There you go. Have a good one. All right, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Spirit. What do Tauruses need to joyfully co-create at the moment? One more. Let's get one, please. Thank you. All right. Three of Swords popped up, and it did want to come in the reverse, but we're going to read it as is, okay? So maybe joyful co-creation just to heal, okay? Perhaps for some heartbreak of some kind or another, all right? Just coming out of that, co-creating out of that with joy, all right? Three of Swords. You could also be dealing with perhaps a third-party situation, maybe some sort of verbal conflict, co-creating out of that joyfully or through that. I do get a sense of diplomacy with this card. All right, let me get there. Give me a second here. There we are. Could be dealing with a Libra as well, or a Saturn Libra, someone in this situation where your Libra placement or your Saturn placement might be significant. Freeing oneself from past pains and heartbreaks, working to help others find release from the past. So this could be someone else externally to you you're helping. Need to create some space for healing to occur and becoming more aware, more of a witness to the situation. Maybe awareness is needed as well. Three swords pierce the heart, which is surrounded by dark clouds. There is a need to heal past relationships and shattered ideals. Sadness, depression, and memories of difficult separations are in one's thoughts and need to be released. The seeds falling from the plant and the parting of the clouds convey the possibility that since the pain is now being dealt with, one will be able to create a vision for a new beginning. Joyfully. A better balance will soon be reached. Learning how to relate to others without losing oneself is important. This may be a time to become more objective towards the emotions. On the other hand, one must be careful not to use the mind to sort out the emotions, ending up in constant self-analysis and introspection. Analysis paralysis, right? There is a need for balance between the emotions and the mind. This can be best accomplished through the use of herbs, meditation, and affirmations. And this card does come with an affirmation, so I'll read it at the end. Counselors and good listeners that work with people who are emotionally distraught with heartbreaks and trauma must learn to be more detached, or their sympathies may get them embroiled with other feelings, making their counsel less effective. On the flip side, being too detached could also be feeling apathetic to the person listening, right? Or the person wanting to share. So you need to find that balance between both, okay? So therapy being mentioned could mean that you might be on the receiving end, okay, of someone else's issues that you're going to help them with, okay? Since that was mentioned. Good listeners, right? Being a good listener. Pleurisy root, which is on this card. The herbal allies for it is Grindelia and white horehound. So you might want to look those up. See if there's a herb or spice that's pretty much similar to that in your grocery store. All right. Spiritual properties. Many times grief and sadness become stuck in the lungs and manifests as congestion and phlegm. An herbal essence of pleurisy root may help to relieve old emotions that need digesting and clearing out. Deep breathing and fresh air will also help, okay? The affirmation on this card: I allow the emotional pain to leave me. My heart is one with the divine. Okay, so there may be a removal of a blockage here from your creations, co-creations with the universe as well, simply because there's old stagnant energy that needs to kind of be like cleared out, right? And healed at this time. All right, there you go. Have a good one. All right. For Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Spirit, what needs joyful co-creation at the moment? All right. You have Page of Wands, good news, fast, quick communications. Could also be about children or new beginnings. All right, let's get into it. Could be dealing with Cancer, Leo, Virgo energy, somewhere in your chart or externally to you. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Found it. All right. Optimism, new dawn, hope, opportunity, acknowledging inner strengths and talents. So, moving forward on something great and grandeur for yourself at this moment. Definitely joyful co-creation in this card for sure. But a new start, a beginning in some way, okay? The Page of Wands depicts a youthful traveler looking at a sunrise. The card symbolizes the dawning of new opportunities. Travel may be significant since traveler was mentioned, right? There is still a way to travel to achieve one's final goal, and there is the assurance of its presence in the not too distant future. The page symbolizes a youth who is looking for the best place to use his boundless enthusiasm and energy. Such an individual may need to come to the realization that his innate fear and insecurity is preventing a deepening of experience. Because of this, there is a tendency to hold himself back from the rewards and satisfaction of forming deep and lasting commitments. So, joyful creation, having co-creation, having something to do with a long-lasting commitment, right? Very deep, very spiritual, right? Not just tangible, but also spiritual, all right? Shepherd's purse is the herb on this card. The spiritual properties of shepherd's purse. Shepherd's purse invigorates the life force within and helps one to recognize and implement talents and abilities that have been hidden. So it could be some sort of co-creation with a talent or ability, right? It strengthens the will and spiritual tenacity. Love it. Herbal allies are uva ursi and manzanita, okay? The affirmation on this card: with all fears and insecurities aside, clarity and single-mindedness is the key to my success. Okay, so staying focused, all right, at this time is going to be important. All right, there you go. Have a good one. All right, Spirit, for Cancerian, Sun, Moon, and Rising Venus, what needs joyful co-creation at the moment? All right, interesting. You have card number 10, Medicine Wheel. This is the Wheel of Fortune in the deck with Slippery Elm, okay? So something fated is going to happen at the moment. You're going to have a turn of good luck, okay? So whatever it is that you've been hoping for, that's probably what you're going to be co-creating with. All right. Let's get into it. Where are you? Bear with, guys. Here we go. Cycles of life, a need to be centered, okay? So you might need to stay grounded. Faith and trust in the adjusting power of nature, which rules all life. Need to focus on goals and aims, getting a broader perspective. Needing to heal, perhaps. Unity, coming together. Need for more devotion and ritual in one's life, okay? So this could be a co-creation with ritual. The medicine wheel is a Native American sacred symbol honoring the four directions and the cycles of life. Medicine wheels have been found atop mountain peaks throughout the world, attesting to the universal reverence for this symbol. They are used for prayers and meditations and as symbols for bringing down to earth the sacred power of heaven. Usually a large stone representing the Great Spirit is placed in the center. The outer stones represent the four directions and the cycles of the seasons and life. On this card, the slippery elm tree is placed in the center and is used to symbolize the Great Spirit that gives strength, energy, comfort, and nourishment to all. Ruled by Jupiter, so Jupiter placement might be specific for you right now, the benevolent planet. The medicine wheel card depicts the cycles and turning points in our lives. The medicine wheel asks us to be open to changes, and if we should lose our way, to move back to the center of the wheel where there is stability and spiritual nourishment. Now about slippery elm, the herb of soothing nourishment. So that could be what you need to do right now, okay? Some soothing nourishment. Spiritual properties. This herb will give the strength, nourishment, and soothing encouragement needed to move through cycles of life. It softens our resistance to changes and allows us to feel more internal unity and centeredness. Its herbal allies are Irish moss and chickweed. And the affirmation on this card: through all the changes that life brings, I feel the center of stability within me. All right. So definitely staying grounded during this time. There's definitely some sort of change for the good for you happening, okay? That you have been co-creating or may need the next stage of co-creation for, but you're going to have to ground yourself first, okay? There you go. Have a good one. All right, Spirit, for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, what needs joyful co-creation at the moment? Interesting. The Six of Cups also wanted to come out. So something from the past, childhood perhaps. You have the Page of Wands. All right. Might be specific to something nostalgic for you from your past or your childhood or about child, okay? The Page of Wands, Gemini also got. Okay, so there may be a significant Gemini for you. This is also the card of Cancer, Leo, Virgo. Okay, so go ahead and listen to Geminis. I'm going to quickly give you, give me a second here. I'm going to give you the affirmation on the card, okay? And just some basics of it. Optimism, new dawn, hope, opportunity, acknowledging inner strengths and talents. The affirmation: with all fears and insecurities aside, clarity and single-mindedness is the key to my success. Okay? So Gemini might be significant to you. Might pop on over. All right? Have a good one. Bye. All right, Spirit, for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, what needs joyful co-creation at the moment? All right. Nice. You have the Ace of Wands. So a fast new beginning, some inspiration, a spark, some kind of inception of something. New ideas. This could be enlightenment as well. You could also be dealing with an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. I love all this fire energy coming up. All right. All right. Where are we? Directness, insights, and breakthroughs, enlightenment, simplicity, and harmony. A hand emerges from the clouds, embracing a wand and a sprig of yarrow. The life force of the spirit is fully acknowledged and accepted. The shafts of light are the inner illumination that one can experience. It is time for revelation and enlightenment. Be willing to face the truth, whatever it may be. This card also represents triumphant success of an endeavor or project. All one needs to do to be assured of success is to learn the power of consistency in endeavor, to pace oneself accordingly, and to follow an enterprise through to completion. Okay? About yarrow, spiritual properties. Yarrow has the capacity to open the mind and the seventh chakra to inspirations and revelations from spirit. It is cleansing to the body and the aura and will offer protection against invasive thought forms. One will hear one's own internal music more clearly as the blockages are cleared. All right. Herbal allies, bone set, chrysanthemum flowers, and peppermint. Okay, so if you can't find yarrow, those will work too. Okay. The affirmation on this card: I am a child of the universe. I embrace the illuminations revealed. Love it. There you go, Virgo. Have a good one. All right, Spirit, for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. What needs joyful co-creation at the moment? please and thank you. Ooh, could be a realization. You have the Tower, okay? Sudden events. Interesting. All right. Give me a second here. Alrighty. With garlic. An easy herb to work with, right? Being knocked from a position of arrogance, so maybe co-creating against arrogance at the time, right? Being made humble, preparing the way for true realization, distress, crises, destruction of old ways, new cycle to begin. Ooh, cleaning house, literally or spiritually, right? Awakening to the truth. The Tower, ruled by Mars, so you might definitely, this might have something to do with your Mars placement, okay? Represents the inner thoughts and words which have created to build up a tower of defenses and outmoded ideas. The ego and desires may be the masters rather than the servants of the inner self. In our fortified tower, we have separated ourselves from life and others. Now the lightning bolt of inner awakening has hit us, and we come tumbling down from our self-created edifice. This is a humbling experience, to say the least. We are no longer functioning from an unconscious egotism or race thought. The Mars energy breaks us out of the inertia of the past. It creates an opening for a new cycle. We can no longer rationalize our old position. We are the dethroned kings and queens who must take a new perspective on ourselves and our relationships. The lightning bolt of inner awakening gets rid of the obstacles. So you may be experiencing a little bit of, I don't know, reality check or surreality check or something along those lines for you at the moment. Typically happening, maybe an old lesson hadn't been learned. Could have just be about needing more joy, right? Imparting more light into a situation rather than focusing on dark, balancing it out better, right? Typically towers happen because we've built on faulty foundations, right? Like they're not strong enough for the structure that's on top of it, right? And sometimes the structure itself is just old, right? And needs to be redone anyway, right? So I don't look at towers as a destructive thing. I think of it as an opportunity for rebirth, and rebirthing better, right? So if it's old thoughts and patterns and ways of handling things that, there's been maybe some resistance to change, right? This is an opportunity to really take care of that. So as far as whatever you're trying to joyfully co-create at the moment, maybe a fresh new perspective is needed, okay? About garlic, the herb of breakthroughs. All right, spiritual properties. On a spiritual level, garlic ruled by Mars will cut through most blockages and obstacles we have set up within us. As we go through a tower experience, we may find that people turn their backs on us, or that we are social outcasts. Just as garlic with its strong odor can be socially unacceptable. That's cute. I like how they wrote that. It does have an offensive smell to some. I can see that. Personally, I love the smell of garlic, just not how it's made or processed. I lived in a town where it was like nasty smelling. Oh my God. Ugh. In this alone and humbled state, true meditation and clear thinking can begin. Be willing to take a look at how to approach a situation in a new and fresh way. Perhaps checking out your other placements too might give you some more insight as to where to go, okay? Herbal allies. Onions, of course. All right. So if you don't have garlic, onions. Maybe it would also be good to include both of those in your diet since they are very good for you, okay? The affirmation on this card. I inhale and nurture myself. I dissolve the fortress within me. I exhale and cleanse myself. I am open to the awakening within. And usually, towers could easily be, too, something on the precipice of an upgrade, too. So don't resist it. Go with it, right? Who knows what you're going to be enlightened to that's better than you could have ever imagined, right? There you go, Libra. Have a good one. Bye. All right, Spirit. For our Scorpios, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, what needs joyful co-creation at the moment? Please and thank you. Ooh, love it. You have the Chariot. So you could be dealing with a Cancer energy, or that could be somewhere in your placements, in your chart somewhere, whichever house. I heard house might be more specific to you, with Cyprus. Okay. Let me just write that down. Hold on. All right. Direction from within, knowledge of inner powers and strengths, ability to regulate and manifest one's life, need to filter out group or race thoughts, need to use one's power towards goodwill. So that could be an identifier for you if you're working towards goodwill in some way. Need to allow the emotions to be released, mood swings, taking the middle way. Need to contact the watery part in oneself, like tapping more into your emotions, right? Could also be dealing with somebody that has mood swings and you're working through it or around it, given his Chariot there, okay? The Chariot is the peaceful warrior who has learned how to harness the energy of his will and is receptive to the inner guidance that is always flowing to him. His body and his personality are symbolized by the Chariot. He uses this vehicle during his manifestation here on Earth as an expression of his true self. You could also be co-creating for some kind of travel or movement as well as that, that Zen balance that you see there with the yin yang symbol. Okay. Could literally be about a car. But as far as co-creation is concerned, yeah, definitely some kind of travel or movement, right? Like he's getting away from that township behind him. Could be for your own personal journey, like the start of it. Ruled by Cancer the Crab, he is protected against the bombardments of thoughts from the world around him, symbolized by the city or the race consciousness from which he has separated himself. He is liberated from any old patterns that bind him and has learned to distinguish the true desires of the enlightened self from the compulsive desires of an unawakened self. Within himself, he embodies all the teaching from the first 6 keys. The celestial symbols on his hat and robe indicate the larger reality that he can now perceive and work with. The blue color denotes the high priestess's consciousness to which he is connected. It's also a throat chakra, so speaking, something having to do with communication is going to be important with your co-creation. It could be a verbal manifestation, like mantras or something, right? He is taking the middle way between the polarities of life. Thus, he has reconciled the lovers within. Ooh, stemming to Gemini, mentioning that. Gemini might be significant for you. He is learning how to control his moods and his emotions by stilling the mind and listening to the inner guide, or the high priest. Taurus energy. All right. And he is using the power of concentration, which is the gift given to him from the magician. Oof. The Emperor, Aries energy, taught him how to organize his activities and rule over his domain. From the Empress, he has found the place of peace in his heart. By embracing these gifts, he is victorious. It almost kind of senses that the depiction here is almost like the Chariot is the child of the Emperor and the Empress, right? With the guidance of school from magician and high priest and high priestess. So perhaps maybe this has something to do with schooling or family, okay? Cypress, herb of regulating energy. Spiritual properties. Cypress teaches the way of the middle path. It has the capacity to help regulate energy and is especially useful for those who experience mood swings from joy to depression or energy swings from high activity to no activity. So definitely learning that balance. You might be actually in a stage of awakening where you're actually grounding and learning to do that. Balancing masculine, feminine, mind, body, soul alignment, all of that. It is a drying herb and so will help to dry up or regulate unneeded emotions or water within. The 3-sided stem of the cypress is a signature of this herb's ability to help mind, body, spirit function as a whole rather than in disjointed parts. As can be seen in this card, the charioteer is holding the cypress, which is symbolic of his controlling his energy and free will. Herbal allies to Cyprus are Poria cocos. I have no idea what that is. All right. The affirmation on this card: with my heart as my guide, I use my will and power to be victorious in all I do. Love it. There you go, Scorpio. Have a good one. Bye. All right, Spirit, for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. What needs joyful co-creation? And I'm kind of curious to see if you'll hear the chickens next door. I think they just got let out to go roam the yard. That might be significant for someone, by the way. I do believe there are 5 of them. The gorgeous ladies next door. All right, one please. What needs joyful co-creation for Sagittarius' spirit? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. All right. You have the Page of Swords. This is Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces energy. Okay, so that could be significant to something in your chart, a placement, house even. I heard that as well. Dill is your herb, an easy herb to work with for so many things to cook in the kitchen. Easy access on that one. Give me a second here. Page of Swords. There we are. Could be dealing with a child. New thoughts, childlike enthusiasm for innovative ideas. Maybe an idea from your childhood coming through. This is also in the shadow aspects of this card, which didn't show up. Maybe coming out of this energy is possible as well. Spying energy, right? Sneaky, deceptive kind of energy. But in the upright, it's like becoming honest and knowledgeable, right? Pushing aside depression and negative thoughts to make a fresh start. Care and communication that is not thoughtless and mean, okay? So maybe some sort of communicative project. Beginning stages of it. That's what I'm feeling. The young page is ready to make a new start with fresh ideas and thoughts. He will sweep away all the encumbrances such as depression and negative thoughts and will make himself ready for change and new possibilities. He is like a breath of fresh air that blows away the clouds that have obscured thinking. He is your own inner child, ready to learn something new. He is a free thinker and is ready to make inroads to a new reality for himself. The page must watch that he doesn't dissipate his energy on erratic, compulsive thinking, which can turn into thoughtlessness and spiteful behavior. He must not become so opinionated or fixed with his ideals that he blows everyone else away with arguments and debates. So being agreeable at this time. Maybe there's some sort of co-creation with others with regards to intellect and knowledge, okay? Dill. Dill has the capacity to bring focus to attention and thoughts. It enables the user to bring out and show the world his or her inner reality and spiritual aspirations. It will calm the air element and help one to digest new thoughts coming through. Its herbal allies are peppermint, catnip, cumin, and coriander. The affirmation on this card: I sweep away all darkness and depression, and with joy I open myself to new thoughts and ideas. There you go. Have a good one. Bye. All right, Spirit for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. What needs joyful co-creation at the moment? All right, that was a book. So there may be a lot going on. Maybe this might apply to multiple circumstances. I would also go check your other placements too to see what insight you can get from that. There we go. 8 of Swords. Ooh, there might be a lot going on. Okay, definitely needing joyful co-creation for this. You have the 8 of Swords. That's Gemini energy for you. Black cohosh is the herb, right? This is a card of all about mental imprisonment and being stuck in fears and feeling like you can't get out, feeling this kind of, mentally, emotionally stuck, but really it's just ego-based. It's not true to self. Let's see what else we can get here. There you are. Jupiter placement might be significant. Okay, this is a Jupiter and Gemini placement. All right. There's a need to be calm and quiet, relooking at an issue, feeling trapped and bound, releasing spasms and anxieties, releasing self-imposed limitations. A bound and blindfolded man sits among swords. He is frustrated, isolated, cramped, and locked in. Situations in his life may be creating interference and blockages and may need to be looked at, but it is time not only to look at the external situation, but to see how he has created the mental concepts that bind him. Are there too many ideas and thoughts coming in with no clear focus as to how to use them? Is this a time for not acting at all, but instead waiting with patience and calmness until the situation changes and new circumstances arise? Since the doors are not opening, maybe it's time to rethink the direction that has been taken. It's important in situations like this to be totally in the moment and involved with present concerns. Calmness and inner quietude are in the forefront. About black cohoosh. Cohoosh? Yes. Spiritual properties. Black cohoosh will help to relieve the cramped feeling one may have when in the midst of an Eight of Swords situation. So this could just be temporary. There is a need to relax, be calm, and stay present without fighting the circumstances. A calmer state of mind will enhance the faculties and make a resolution easier to perceive. Herbal allies are blue cohosh and black haw. Okay? And you may want to follow your other placements as well to get some more insight and maybe other herbs to work with if you would like that, okay? The affirmation on this card: by releasing myself of the thoughts that bind me, I am open to the new concepts coming my way, all right? And that could be where your co-creation is coming from, is these new thoughts, but you got to release some old stuff first, right? Kind of clear out the mental clutter, the mental and emotional clutter. And of course, this could be somebody around you that you might just need to have a break from, right? Maybe they're kind of gumming up the works, all right? There you go. Have a good one. Bye. All right, Spirit, for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. What needs joyful co-creation at the moment? Please and thank you. All right, this one came up in the reverse, but I'm going to read it in the upright. So just be mindful. You have a Queen of Cups, perhaps, that you might have to work with, that's being a little inflexible and selfish and in their feelings. Okay. All right, so you could be dealing with a feminine energy or someone that has an imbalanced feminine energy. Okay, I'm seeing that. Water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, significant. Lady's mantle is the herb. Let's see here. Here we are. Clarity and knowledge of needs and desires of self or others. Okay. Maybe there's a lack of that around you. Self-acceptance, appreciation of one's limitations and gifts, moodiness, empathy for another, or instead collapsing into another's problems, feeding into it, enabling, okay? So maybe there's an issue there, okay? In order to joyfully co-create, you can't enable. That's not exactly the right way to do it. Everyone's got to be balanced before that happens. So if you're co-creating with another, got to make sure that you're all in alignment, right? Okay. The Queen sits on a rock surrounded by the sea of emotions and yet is close to the shore of earth, representing a centering and grounding of the emotions. To further strengthen this symbolism, she is situated behind Lady's Mantle, an herb whose main function is to coalesce the water, emotions, and earth, manifestation. So being very careful of how our emotions can bring forth our reality, right? It's not just our thoughts and our words, it's also our intentions too, right? The Queen of Cups represents a woman in full command of her powers, visions, and dreams. So her showing up in the reverse can mean that maybe she's not tapping in to what she truly wants for her from her higher self, right? She knows what she has to offer and what she is capable of receiving. She is not lost in hopeless romantic delusions, but like the moon, she is able to reflect to others what they most need to see in themselves. So very intuitive, right? Maybe this is someone that's not following their intuition, okay? And maybe they need to for joyful co-creation. She loves the ocean or large bodies of water and is inspired and healed by their proximity. So water healing is important right now. Could have a lot to do with water. Literally water. Drinking more water, being in water, taking more spiritual baths. Our queen definitely chooses not to indulge in feelings of loss or deprivation in affairs of the heart, but she should watch that she does not indulge in extreme mood changes, thereby deceiving herself and others as to the precise nature of her real feelings. Okay, so being true to your intentions, your actual intentions. About Lady's Mantle, spiritual properties. This herb symbolizes the power of control, especially over the emotions relating to others. It can therefore help overcome an excessive dependency on another and thus help evolve a greater sense of our true worth and needs. So it's sounding like co-creation will be more like autonomous energy. I love it. More independence, but at the same time working together, right? Without being codependent. There we go. Herbal allies are chasteberries, raspberry leaf, and black haw. Okay. The affirmation on this card: I receive satisfaction and joy in sharing the cup of my beingness with another. All right. There you go. Have a good one. Bye. All right, Pisces. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. What means joyful co-creation at the moment? One more. All right. Ooh, this one wanted to come up in the reverse. So maybe there's a feeling of a lack, okay? Or maybe a loss or coming out of a loss. You have the 10 of Pentacles, which is Virgo energy, okay? All about that wealth, inheritance, being fulfilled in the tangible, view of abundance. So it could be about joyful creation of abundance for you, whatever that means for you. Wild yam is the herb on the card. But you could be working with all kinds of yams. All right, let's see. There we are. Mercury and Virgo, specific placement is maybe somebody you're working with, okay, or dealing with in this situation. Or you might want to also go follow your Mercury placement as well, since Mercury is mentioned. There might be some communication, okay, and that might help that out. Sharing talents and skills with the community, so community-based. Alignment of one's will with spirit, prosperity, consciousness of the resources available, need to loosen up on possessions, and acknowledging one's values and self-worth. Okay? The 10 Pentacles climbing up the card indicate the multitude of inner virtues, values, skills, talents, established conditions, inheritance, or material possessions that have accumulated and are available for use. There is a sense of consolidation of past experiences and an opening for new opportunities from this foundation. It is right before you get to the Page of Pentacles, okay, where you need to learn new things. The house in the background indicates stability, solidity, belonging, and comfort. When one has talents or a wealth of inner values and virtues, it is important to share and utilize these tools in some form of service to the community around you. Ooh, I'm getting life purpose vibes. Pre-life purpose vibes here. Trying to figure out what that is, right? And what direction to go. All right. By being willing to show the world your talents, whatever they may be, you can be assured that there will be a return flow. For those who have accumulated wealth in one form or another, it is important not to become fearful of losing it all. One can get caught in boredom or apathy because one sees that goals have been accomplished. However, one is never limited by talents, just by judgments. So work at creating and using the gifts that you were born with, or that are bestowed upon you on this journey, okay? All of it. Find balance between all of it. Wild yam, spiritual properties. Spiritually, just as this root draws into itself concentrated energy from very deep in the earth, it will reveal accumulated energy and power. So working with earth right now, your earth star chakra specifically, because this is a root vegetable that is in the ground, okay? Through its releasing action, it will encourage the use of talents, gifts, and possessions for the greatest good. For those who are fearful of losing their possessions, wild yam will gently release this inhibition and allow new creative energies to flow. Sidebar. You never lose what's meant for you, ever. Your higher self has your back, okay? If something falls away, it was not meant for you. It's not good enough for you, okay? Something better is going to take its place, but you can't have clutter, right? Spiritual clutter. In order to have what's meant for you, you're going to have space for it, and you're going to be ready for it energetically, okay? So there should be no fear in losing. Fear is it's an illusion. It's really just ego-based, self-imposed mental imprisonment is what it is, okay? Your higher self doesn't have that limitation. Endless possibilities are available, okay? The herbal allies for wild yam are black haw and cramp bark. And since Mercury was mentioned, you might want to go check your Mercury placement and especially Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Okay? Feels like you're going to be working with people. Venus might be important. That's all about your relationships. Okay? The affirmation on this card: I feel the abundance of my life and fully embrace it. Love it. There you go. Have a good one. Bye.